What is going on, YouTube? This is Jim back with another video, and tomorrow we leave E3, and I wanted to go through a quick rundown of the games that I played. I'm going to be doing a deep dive specifically on Xbox Fan Fest a little bit later on. Probably won't do on a Nintendo because we didn't play as much stuff there, but I wanted to tell you guys that E3 is definitely not dead, and I know I talked about this when I went to E3 2017, and you're probably reading a lot of stuff from the press right now talking about how there weren't as many things to do and everybody was leaving early. And while some of that is true, and I can say that the press conference did feel significantly thinner this year than it did a couple of years ago, my wife and I still had an absolute blast, and there was a ton of games that we got to play. So I'm just going to give you a rundown by developer of the games that we played, and just a really quick snippet of what I thought on them. But again, I will do a deep dive of Xbox Fan Fest a little bit later on. From Nintendo, we played Luigi's Mansion, we played Zelda Link's Awakening, we played Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, we played Pokemon Sword Shield, we played Elder Scrolls Blade on the Nintendo Switch, and we played Sonic and Mario Go to the Olympics. Now, Nintendo has always done a really good job of their queuing system and the whole ambiance of their area. So when we went in 2017, the whole area was themed after New Donk City, which I thought was cooler than this year. But this year, they broke it out a little bit differently. There was a giant inside castle, like a haunted castle, which was from Luigi's Mansion. I guess a mansion, actually, right? Not a castle. But it was all dark, and they had all the stations set up on the inside, and everybody was dressed up like evil bellhops, and it was just a really cool ambiance to play that game. Over for Pokemon, they recreated an entire stadium, and it was really neat because Nintendo always goes that extra mile to really, I think, make a really good theme. Even back in 2017, all of the cast members were dressed up like citizens of New Donk City, and everybody was dancing and really having a good time. Here you had the bellhops in Luigi's Mansion, and then in the Pokemon trainer area for Pokemon Sword Shield, all of the cast members were dressed like Pokemon trainers. And it was really cool because they're like, what's your name? And oh, I'm Jim. They're like, okay, Jim, I choose you. Go over there and play the game now. And it's just a really cool environment, really fun. As not a huge fan of Pokemon, it really did a great job of kind of building up that ambiance, and just it felt good. So I have to say Nintendo did great. Their queuing is always very, very easy to follow, very easy to understand. Lines are unfortunately long because Nintendo is Nintendo, and people are, really excited for their games, and they definitely deliver on their E3 experience. But despite waiting in a long line, you know right where to go. It's very easy to get in place. They show you where to stand. They tell you how long it's going to be. There's no ambiguity there at all. So I think Nintendo did a great job this year. Over at Xbox, which I will spend a lot longer on later, but just to give you a rundown of what we played over at the Microsoft Theater, we played Gears of War 5, both in the Microsoft Theater and outside at the Mixer Dome, which was something that was a really cool experience. They basically had these two giant domes where they had esports running. They had Bravo was calling some stuff from the Hype Zone. They had Gears of 5 stations set up there to play the new mode there. They also had Apex Legends, which was really cool. We didn't play that though. We also played Halo Reach on the PC, which was something I was very excited about. I will definitely be doing a deep dive on that later on, so look forward to that video in the next couple days. We played Borderlands 3, and I should also mention that both Gears 5 and Borderlands 3 we played on the new Elite Controller Series 2, which felt phenomenal. If you didn't get a chance to watch my video talking about that, click around in the playlist of the E3 2019. I give a pretty long explanation of what it looks like and how it felt and some of the new feature sets that come with that. But playing both of those games on the Elite Controller Series 2 was awesome. We also played the new Sea of Thieves content, which isn't really new per se for E3, but it's the arena battle. The winning team got an Elite Controller. I'm sorry, not Elite Controller. The Sea of Thieves branded controller. So when I talk about all of Xbox, I'll tell you how that all turned out. We also played the Forza Horizon expansion with the Legos. We played Supermarket Shriek, which launched on Game Pass the other day. We also played Battletoads, and we also played Age of Empires 2. So the way that Xbox has everything set up really, I feel like, saves E3 in a sense. When everybody says, oh, E3 is dying, E3 is dead, whatever, Microsoft felt like Microsoft City. That entire Microsoft Theater was completely transformed. There were ads for Xbox everywhere, giant green neon signs. They had Game Pass signs. They had people walking around asking trivia questions and giving out rewards for Game Pass. My wife and I got almost another full year of Game Pass Ultimate, believe it or not. Not just the console version, but the PC version with gold all tied together just by answering trivia questions. They had a hide and go seek where they hid an Xbox One X around. You had to go find it. The stage, you can go up on stage where they did the press, the actual conference, and that's where all the games were. They just did such a great job of making that place feel like everybody was VIP. The queuing was phenomenal. You basically sat in the theater, and it was nice. It was air conditioned. It was cool. And they would call people up in rows to go up and play games, which was great. Now, we got to do everything at FanFest, but we still went back again on Thursday because we had such an absolute blast. So Xbox did such a good job, and them being at that theater, I think, really cements just, they have the real estate there, and they did such a good job of just getting people in and playing games. They were giving out tons of prizes and lanyards and buttons and posters and just lots of really cool stuff. So A+ from them. Over in Bethesda, we played Doom. We also played Wolfenstein Youngblood. Now, Bethesda did things a little bit differently. They didn't have the traditional queue that you typically expect in most things. A lot of it was by appointment only, and we didn't know that until we got there. But basically, you go up early in the morning. They give you, they text you basically when your time is up, and you could set up a time. So a little bit different though, because a lot of people don't know that, and I think that's one of the frustrating things. And Bethesda definitely, I would say, is one of the bigger publishers in terms of just what kind of games they have and everything. But the fact that they didn't have a traditional queue is a little bizarre. A lot of stuff was by appointment, like the VR mode in Cyberwolf. Doom appeared to have a lot of appointment kind of stuff. Wolfenstein definitely did. And I kind of wish that they were either a little more traditional or a little more upfront coming up, before the press conference, like, hey, this is what you can expect. Because as a fan just going in, we have no idea what's going on. So although I love Bethesda as a game developer and I love their games, and I'm always an adamant defender of all things Bethesda, I think they dropped the ball this year on how they had their E3 presentation set up. We also went over to Ubisoft and we played Ghost Recon Breakpoint, which was a very simple, straightforward queue, which I really liked. I really enjoyed the game. Ubisoft didn't really have a lot going on. They had a giant stage, which I do like because they simulcast anything that they're showing. So they had a lot of esports going on the stage. They had the Just Dance crew that were performing. They had a lot of events. It was definitely like a good place to just hang out and see what they were doing. The problem was they didn't really have a lot in the way of games. Other than Ghost Recon, all they had was I say behind closed doors because they didn't have it open to, people to walk in and see, or I shouldn't say that. You couldn't see it walking by. Like, all the computers are just out in the open, but for whatever reason, they had Legion, but it wasn't gameplay. It was just tucked in this little room. So you had to wait in line to basically watch a movie of some more Legion gameplay, which we did not do. But I think Ubisoft didn't have a lot to show this year. I was really down on their press conference. I know Brent was too. And it kind of shows at their booth. They just kind of didn't really have a lot to show for themselves. So I wasn't really pleased with that. We also went over to Warner Brothers, where we got to play Mortal Kombat 11, which was great. We got to play with the new characters that they've been adding, tons and tons of new characters. We got to play that. It was a very easy queue to get through. They also had a photo op area, which you could you do your own fatality if you wanted to. We skipped that portion. Over in Epic, all they had was Fortnite, basically Fortnite land. They had tournaments going on for time trials and solo runs and battle royales and a dance mode, and they were giving away tons and tons of stuff. Very easy to find and navigate and walk around. We weren't very good. I shouldn't say we were. Neither of us play a lot of Fortnite, so we didn't participate in any tournaments, but they had like a prize wheel if you won. They also had a dance booth, which we did do, where you basically emulate one of the dances from the game, and not even if you win or lose, it doesn't matter. You just do it for points. They send you the video of it, so you could download the video, which is fun. You could see yourself dancing, being goofy, and then you get to pick something out of the prize box, which was socks or a foam pickaxe that said Fortnite on it. So we got a pair of socks, which was cool. Very simple, very easy to get in. I liked it was nice and bright and vibrant, very clear to tell where everything was at. So I think Epic did a really good job with what they had. We also went to THQ Nordic, and THQ Nordic has always been a budget developer, and their display was totally budget development. As opposed to everywhere else, we played on nice big, 36-inch, 40-inch television screens with nice controllers. On THQ Nordic, you played on computer monitors with Power A knockoff Xbox One controllers. But, that's okay. Over there, we played Destroy All Humans, and we also played Biomutant. And they played like budget games. They had some okay things, some not okay things. I don't think they're ever full price. If they are, I'd be really surprised. Their giveaways were very basic, if anything at all. They didn't really have a lot, but it was a good place to go, and just, you knew that within 30, 40 minutes you'd be able to burn through a couple games. And it was, I think those are games that people, at least for myself, that are kind of curious about, like, could they actually pull this off? Could this be a good game? And I think both of them were okay. I wouldn't say that they're going to win any awards or anything. I think they're solid like 6 or 7s out of 10 maybe. But it was fun that, there's room for everyone at E3, I guess is the takeaway there. Lastly, we went over to the Geico area, and Geico actually has been started to publishing video games. They were near Verizon and some of the other indies, and we played this knockoff of Overwatch, which was okay. I wouldn't say it was the best game I ever played, but it was something to do. I think it was called Rocket Jump or Rocket something, Rocket Brigade. It was okay. So we did a lot. I mean, to say that, the first day was a little rough because Nintendo, just because of the sheer amount of people getting over there, we didn't get to do very much. But I decided to break it down by the studios that we went to, because I think it gives you a little better understanding. The big thing that we skipped out on was we did not go to the Cyberpunk 2077 behind closed doors 30-minute extended demo theater experience. It wasn't even gameplay. The line was upwards of 3 hours at some points. The loot wasn't that great. You got a plastic visor when you left, which we weren't really that excited about. And as much as I want to play Cyberpunk, if it's anything like they did with the last E3 trailer, in a month or two they'll release it, so we'll just get to watch it then. There's too many other cool things to do to wait in line just for Cyberpunk. So I want to dispel all the rumors. That's why I'm doing this video, saying at E3 there's plenty of things to do, very high caliber, very fun, quality games. Great experiences over at the Microsoft Theater and at the Nintendo booth. Really fun, really just a suspension of belief. Really makes you feel like you are in those universes. And the staff there, super nice, super friendly, giving away lots of fun giveaways and lanyards and buttons and pins and that sort of thing. And really just makes you feel included. And I think that's the big takeaway here, is that we see the conflict between the gamers and the industry / media, and how the gamers have to come later now and that sort of thing. And I think Nintendo and Microsoft totally broke those barriers. So I'm really, really appreciative to both of them for that. But for everybody else that showed up, even THQ Nordic, which I was a little rough on, the fact that they show up and there's, the queuing is very simple to get in and play a lot of these games was great. So all in all, I had a great E3. Expect another video from me in the near future, deep diving some more stuff on Xbox, particularly Gears of War and Halo Reach, but I'll save those probably when I'm back in Orlando. For now, this wraps up the last video I'm doing in Los Angeles. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care of yourselves, and until next time, I will see you guys on the other side.